Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another beautiful day in New York City. I guess you heard the siren behind me. This is how New York City is. I am your host, astronumerologist Lloyd Strayhorn, for this Monday in a brand new month. We're at the halfway point of 2025. It is amazing. So, everybody, I do want to thank you very, very much for joining today. Let me do something right quick here. Okay. There we go, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. I've got some comments I'm going to make today about some inquiries that have been made about how do I make these determinations, which I'll do. But I do want to thank you very much for joining me. Also, let me let you know that the sponsors have been being brought to you by Nicholas Brooklyn. They're at 1396 Fulton Street, just as for Monique or Cafunia, but Monique especially, since she is the torchbearer of this establishment for well over 50 years. And I mean, she is the most nicest person you could want to see. And I say that sincerely. And Cafunia is second running. I'll say it like that. They both fire signs too, Sagittarius and Leo. Also, U-Juice. This is one of the most remarkable Caribbean juices. You'd have to get your hands on it. In fact, you'd have to get your taste buds on it to really, really appreciate the wonderful effort that has been put into this refreshing uh, Caribbean drink of three flavors, all organic, no GMOs, none of that stuff like that. It's just an amazing product. You go to order the product by going to Levitt Store, LIVET.com, LIVETSTORE, LevittStore.com. Okay. Next, also, I want to thank Miss Queen Bee, who is also sponsoring the show today. She's and Numerologics, excuse me, thank you. And she has a show called Numbers Matter. She is just she's really very good at what she does. She's going to have a special guest on this Wednesday, which I'll let you know at the end of the program. Also, my good buddy, King Simon. He is having a three-parter in June, July, and August coming to Patreon exclusively. At the bottom, you'll see where you go to www.patreon.com/King Simon Productions. Okay. So I do want to thank him very much for sponsoring the show. Also, Miss Kimberly with Manifest on Purpose, that is. And you go to her website on Kimberly.com. That's KIMBALEY. As you see under the name underneath her images, KIMBALEY. And she does Manifest on Purpose, Numerology Reveal, Astronumerology Reveals, and also she's added an additional service to businesses. So if you have a business or potential business and you want a complimentary consultation, that's right, a complimentary consultation, just go to her website at the very bottom of this particular flyer, Kimberly, KIMBALEY.com. All righty. So let's us do the forecast before I get into this. And here we go. So today is Monday. It is the 2nd of and you know what? Every time there's always something. But anyway, I'll start with this. It's Monday, June the 2nd. That is true, 2025. The sun is in Gemini. The moon is in Virgo. It is a 6 universal month, a 7 universal week, an 8 universal day. And so it is a day that favors Capricorns, Aquarians, and Levians, but it should have been corrected and have the 8th, the 17th, or the 26th. This is for those on Wednesday. But if you are born on the 8th, the 17th, or the 26th of the month, this is your day. Okay. Well, I'll get this thing 100% if it's the last thing I do. All righty. So let me explain this. I got questions in the comment section about how am I arriving at these cycles? And in fact, what's happening is Jazz Aphrodite, the moderator of this program, each and every Monday, like clockwork. She is going to be having a master class in the summer around August, and it's going to be several months, and we'll get into details about it. But if you really want a certification on a master level, this would be the person we go to. I'm going to get more information. I got a blurb today about it this morning when I saw it, but I wanted to be very specific that if you want to reach that level of achievement, that level of certification in the metaphysical arts of numerology, astrology, cardology, and her well-roundedness and whatnot, this will be the class to be in attendance to make it official for those of you who've been wanting to get to that level. Now, to get to the comments today, some people have asked me, okay, Lloyd, how do you figure out the personal year? It is very simple from my newsletter. And by the way, before I get to that, let me explain. My newsletter is out, okay? It came out early morning of June the 1st, right on time, okay? I noticed that I got a couple of email responses, which is, okay, Lloyd, when I go on it, and it's designed to be read by a phone, okay? So when you're looking at your cell phone, your iPhone or Android, and what happens is it will go all the way down until you get to almost it finishes Leo, but then it stops there and people have had questions. Now, if you look to the top right of this presentation here, you see where it says view in browser? Well, if you open up the browser, it will then show you the entire zodiac signs from Aries all the way through Pisces. But if you're just going down and it'll stop just before it ends to Leo, before it completes the ending of Leo, and then it appears to stop. So this is at the top. So as soon as you get it, if you want to see the whole thing, just go to the top where it says view in browser, and that will allow you. Now, for those who go all the way and don't see that, there is another indicator at the bottom of the horoscope that's listed for the forecast. And as you see at the bottom left, it will tell you view the entire message. If you click on view the entire message, it will also open up and you will see. So this is just finishing up, I think, the sign of Leo here. And but if you want to get to anything else, all the rest of the signs, just click entire view. So you can see it either on the tail end of the newsletter or the front end of the newsletter. Okay, so that is your choice. But for those of you who do want to get the newsletter, it is absolutely free. I do not sell your email address. There's a couple of ways. One of them is you go to Lloyd-Strayhorn.com to subscribe, which is absolutely free, or you can go to Linktree/numbers and you. Now, Linktree is spelled, I know how it sounds, but how it's spelled on the web is different. It's LINKTR.EE. So there's a dot between the word tree. LINKTR.EE/numbers and you, and it'll see all my other services. But to get the free newsletter, all you got to do is just submit your name. There's an option to give your birthday. You don't have to, it's not locked in stone. And then this way it'll come out every month. And so when you do, there's also a recorded version that is done. And this is it, the outcome for June the 25 the astronumerical forecast. And by the way, if you look here at the bottom of each of the zodiac signs, you'll see a link that will take you right to the recording. So you have a way of either reading it and or seeing it, and then also a timestamp so you can jump right to your sign. We don't have to start all from the beginning. Because what I do when I do this is I'll do the almanac, the best days for car loans, the best days to buy electronics, the best days to cut your hair for strengthening it, the best day to cut your hair for shortening it, and asking for personal loans, and a couple other things I do, even entertaining people and things of that nature. So that is what I provide with the beginning of the newsletter when you hear the oral version of it versus the written version. And it's totally different. It's totally different look. It's for those who understand, you normally how we speak and how we write are normally two different entities. I cannot remember too many people that write like they sound and sound like they write, if that makes sense. And normally it's a writing skill and a speaking skill are two different areas. So anyway, before I take comments today about your birthday or any questions you have, and then speaking of that, let me say this. Tomorrow is going to be my pleasure, and I have to thank Quintella, who is a regular on the show, for the idea of getting on, because some of you who get in the comment section always ask, there was one person in particular, she wanted to know about not only herself, of course, but then against people around her, like a mom, dad relationship, children. Well, this Q&A, which is ask me anything that I can intelligently answer, that part is not on there, but anything I can answer intelligently is what it's about, to not only just get more into you, but also the people around you, loved ones, children, family members, moms and dads, co-workers, bosses, frenemies, enemies, whoever you do. And, and you can ask other questions that if I can intelligently answer them, that is key for me. It's not just to say, ask me anything. What you cannot ask me is how long you're going to live, when you're leaving the planet. That is not my role. I know how to stay within my lane, okay? And I'm not going to vary from that. So other than that, I'll try to answer any. And here's the thing about me with you, anybody who I've read. If I can't answer intelligently, I don't answer at all, or will tell you I don't know. But because I've been doing this so long, majority of the questions that are asked of me, I can intelligently answer them intelligently with logic where it makes sense. And God bless New York City, okay? God bless Harlem, born in Harlem. Because when you talk to brothers and sisters here, if I say you this number, yeah, what that mean, okay? And it got to make sense too. So talking all esoterically and do, that don't mean nothing to the people that roll up in this community, or Brooklyn for that matter, or Queens or Bronx or other parts of New York City, but Harlem in particular, where I made my bones, as they say, right here. And so I always use a kind of a practical approach. And then I've had blessed with students that have questioned me. It keeps me on my toes, which is very good. And this leads me to the point of what people say, well, how do I determine the universal year? That's very easy. So when I'm doing these reports, excuse me for that, it is very simple. So let me go to the forecast a second, and I'll explain what I mean. When I do the forecast here, the personal year, well, that's not on here, but I'll explain. The personal year is simply determined by what year we're presently in. Well, 2025 is a 9. Well, if a person says, okay, Lloyd, what about the personal year of 1933? Well, that adds up to 16, and 1 plus 6 is 7. So back in 1933, that was a 7 universal year. And the word universal means exactly that. Everybody, nobody escapes. There's a universal year, then there's your own personal year. Now, there's a shade of difference. I'll explain that in a moment. But the universal year, and the beauty about the universal year principle, I can do the past. So if somebody says, okay, Lloyd, what happened back in 356 BC? Well, I know that was a 5 universal year, because 3 plus 5 plus 6 is 14, and 1 plus 4 is 5. It's just that simple. So what I'm saying, okay, Lloyd, if you're so smart, what happens way, way up in the future if man don't blow themselves, the kingdom come? Let us pray, okay? What about the year 4032? Well, I can say, well, that will be the year of the 9, because 4 plus 0 plus 3 plus 2 equals 9. It will be a 9 universal year. So whether I'm dealing with the past, the present, like 2025, or the future up in 4032, you will always know the universal year that every single one of us cannot escape as long as we live and breathe and walk above ground, okay? Then there's another division called the personal year. Now, there's a difference with this. So the universal year to the whole world, but what about your personal year? That will make all the difference in the world. So let's say we got somebody born, say April 20th, right? Well, what you do is you take the month, you take the day, and you add it to the year, and this would be a 6 personal year. So this person, this is anybody born on April the 20th of what, I don't care what year, what gender, or part of the family you come from. Everybody, don't forget, there's not just one person born on that day. Tons of people were born on this particular day, and any other day I would choose to throw out there. But the point is, you take the month and day you were born, but instead of taking your year, you substitute it and take the year you want to know about. That will tell you the personal cycle that you were going through, because these cycles only go from 1 through 9. Of course, they're the master numbers like 11, 22, in some cases 33, but those are exceptions, especially 33. But nonetheless, this is how you do it. And so you can ask yourself, okay, when I graduated from school, what was my personal year? You just take your month and day and the year that you can remember, or what was the year that I got married, or I graduated, or I had my child, or got my car, or got my first job. Any meaningful milestones in your life, and everybody's got milestones to some degree, good, bad, or indifferent. If you can remember the year, it will give you a clue as to the personal year cycle. So a person in the 6 personal year this year that I gave you is April 20th. Then what happens is when I say, well, this is going to be a great year, they might say, well, how? What I've learned how to do is go back in the past, numerically speaking. I would say, well, 2025 is very similar to it was back in 2016, back in 2007, back in 1998. Now, that might baffle a person, but if you look at 1998, that added the 27, and 2 plus 7 is 9. If you look at 2007, well, 2 plus 0 plus 0 plus 7 is a 9. If you look at 2016, well, 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 6 is 9. Now we're at 2025, which is a 9. Then I can project it and say, well, if that's the case, what will be the cycle in the year 2034? Well, 2034 adds up to a 9. What is the difference between 2016 and 2007? The difference is this. Let us assume you're older, you're wiser, more seasoned, more experienced, and more sophisticated in the ways of the world. That's the difference, okay? So with these cycles, so for example, in one of those cycles back in 1998, 2007, 2016, this particular person who is on April 20th in a 6 personal year may have gone to school, got their hair done, got married, got divorced, got pregnant. They're different milestones. Don't forget, everybody born on that same day is not going through the same experience. Similar experiences, yes, but not identical experiences, no. Why is that? Because the names are different. And persons born on that month and day are not born in the same year. Like Tito Puente is born on April the 20th, the famous Latin band leader, was born in a different year. Jerry Seinfeld, that was born on April the 20th, was born in a different year. Then you take Hitler, who was born on April the 20th in another different year. Then you take Luther Vandross, that I had the pleasure was born on April the 20th in a different year. So not only that, but each of these people have a different first name. They were born in a different year, which is why Jazz Aphrodite is going to be teaching this certification master class. I mean, she is the best at this. She will be teaching a master class on how to do this, how to make these distinctions. Yes, people born on the same day have a similar pattern. That is true. But there's always going to be a nuance, because some of them may be born at 7 in the morning. Others may be born at 7 at night. There are so many components. If not, we'd all be clones, although we try to act like clones, trying to imitate each other. But this is what makes you a special individual versus myself, versus anybody we deal with. And you are just as special as the next person. But right now, this culture got us so busy looking at the stars and the entertainers and whatnot that we fail to look in our own backyard to find out that, guess what? We are just as important, just as significant as they are. Okay, so we ain't got all the paper in the bank, okay? So we ain't got the luxury cars and all that, but that's a lifestyle. But the point is the fact that you are allowed to get up and live and breathe every morning is a blessing. But that's how you get your personal year, whatever milestone it was in your life. That's explained in my book, Numbers and You, a numerology guide for everyday living, that you can purchase on Amazon. All right. So then the next step, how do you get the the universal month? Well, in this case, this is easy because from the newsletter, June is a 6th universal month. How did I do it? Simple. I took 2025, which is the universal year, and added it to the 6th calendar month. So 9 plus 6, June, representing the 6th calendar month, equals 15. Now that deals with 6, but the compound numbers are different too, because the compound number 15 denotes money, gifts, favors from others. It denotes duty and responsibilities. I call this month of June the romance and finance cycle, which some of you, if you've been out of the loop with a relationship, the chances are you will probably meet somebody. It may not start at first. By the end of the month, you're in love, but you may meet somebody innocently that before you know it down the road, that happened to be, by coincidence, I remember I met you this so-and-so. And then door number 2 is if you've entered this month of June with somebody, and it's been halfway decent in the relationship, more than likely it will blossom and flower to the next level, like dating more exclusively, maybe sharing space together, being more committed in the relationship, leaning toward a better future. And then there's door number 3 for anybody for the month of June, that if you have been in a relationship and it's been, as some of y'all say, working my last nerve, okay, then more than likely by the end of the month, y'all might be thinking about, maybe we need some space. Maybe we need to really go in opposite directions. But at the same time, it's a month, this universal month. And see, we're not talking about the personal month yet. We're talking about universal, that each and every one of us to a greater or lesser degree will experience. This is a month for us to go back to school. The ladies will do their hair. It's a health month, exercising. It's a cycle of duty and responsibilities and obligations, things of that nature. But then if you say, well, what is the personal month? So I'll give you the example. The example I'm using is April the 20th, right? So that person's in a 6th personal year. So if I want to get to the month, right, I'll say 6 added to the 6th calendar month is a 12 or a 3. Okay, so this person will be in a 3 personal month. Now, because that compound number adds up to a 12, that means maybe mental suffering and anxiety. They have to be warned. They have to be wary of being the victim or the sacrifice for the plans and intrigues of others, and not to let anybody work their nerves. But to the essence of it, it means that for this particular person or anyone born on that month and day, I gave as an example, April 20th, it just means this is your time to expand your world, to expand your horizons, to broaden your contacts, to network, to make the most of all these things. And then a 3 cycle is not only the cycle of abundance and bountifulness and things of that nature, it's about self-improvement and all those things. And it's going to be a very, very busy month. So this is how you get your personal month too. So whatever your personal month is, and maybe I'll demonstrate some of that when I go to the comment section. So whatever your personal month is, that will tell you. Now, since this is the universal month of the 6th, that means those under the signs of Taurus, those under the signs of Libra will be the beneficiaries of this month, as well as those that are born on the 6th, the 15th, or the 24th, because 1 plus 5 is 6 and 2 plus 4 is 6. That's how I do it. Then there's this concept that I created called the personal week. So when you hear me do the forecast, I'll say, well, this is a 7 personal week. And I'll explain. I'll take the short version. I have a dear friend, my childhood friend, Aaliyah. And as we grew from childhood friends to adults, he would then be dating women and he want to know, well, Lloyd, what was their personal year they're in? What was their personal month and whatnot? And because Leo was a flamboyant 3 person, okay, and 3 is a flirtatious number too, by the way, okay. Not all 3s are flirting, but you'll do it organically. You don't even know you're flirting half the time, but nonetheless, he would ask me, and then he threw me this ballpark question. He says, well, okay, Lloyd, what about the personal week? I said, there is no such thing, because in my training, I was used to the personal year, the personal month, the personal day. That's how it was. And so he asked me the darndest question, which is why my book turned out to be Numbers and You. Because when I said there's no such thing as a personal week, he says, well, why not? And I didn't have an explanation. I told you, when you're in Harlem, you can't say something and don't be able to back that up. And I had no answer for Lewis, but it led me down the rabbit hole, which is how I came up with the concept of personal week. Now, let me tell you how it works. This person, this example, April 20th, is now in a 3 personal month. Okay. So my thing is, in nature, everything is always in divisions of 7. 7 notes in the musical scale, 7 days of the week, 7 colors in the rainbow, 7 wonders of the world, 7 wonders of the ancient world, all these other divisions of 7s. So I says, well, let the first week from the 1st through the 7th be week number 1, because each month is broken into normally 4 weeks. Okay. Which is why when you're looking at your monthly newsletter, you see week number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. So what happens is, I says, okay, if this person, from our example, April the 20th is a 3 personal month, 3 added to the first position week would be a 4. So this particular week this person would be in a 4 week. So that means this person would be getting themselves structured, more organized, having a roadmap, developing a blueprint or plan of action of how they want to do something. Then week number 2 would be the week of the 8th through the 14th. And so 3 added to her personal month, added to the second calendar week would be a 5. So this will be a week of change during this second week, a week of opportunities, possibilities, breaking out, promoting this, that, and the other. Then the third week will be therefore from the 15th to the 21st. Everything is in divisions of 7. 1 to 7, 8 to 14, 15 to 21, 22 to the end of the month. So in this third week, it would be 3 plus the third week is 6. Well, first of all, this person is a Taurus. So I know right away that for this particular week, this third week, I could safely say that around about the third Friday, because each number rules a day. And so since this person will be in the 6th week, and 6 rules Friday, it'll probably be the third Friday or somewhere around the 15th, give or take, that would be a significant date. I mean, I really got this down to a science. No other book has this, none. And so, and I even touched on it in my book to make sure I preserved it, but I really wanted to develop it and work on it and work it till I got it down to a science, and I do believe I do. And so then, as I go into the 4th week, so this person's in a 3 personal month, added to the 4th calendar week is from the 22nd to the end of the month, will be in a 7 personal week. Well, this person's key numbers are the 2, 7, and 6. So therefore, the last 2 weeks of this month will be better than this first week. The second week is cool, but the third week and the 4th week, I say that'd be going up. You know what I'm saying? So this is why people think I'm accurate. Yes, I am, and I thank the Most High for that. But I got to give credit to these numbers. As they said in Hidden Figures, that movie where the lady made that classical scene where she looked at that, the guy says, the numbers don't lie. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. When they send a man to the moon or any place in space, all that is calibrated upon numbers. You let them get one number off, they don't return. They don't go back into, listen, the universal language is mathematics. It's just that simple. Among my other peers, we happen to look at it from a metaphysical perspective. A doctor may look at it from your blood pressure, your cholesterol, your heart rate, your oxygen level. Those are the things they'll look at. An accountant, when you go, they might see where you owe taxes. And no matter which area you are, you must use numbers in some way. And we're not counting the day to day. We're exchanging, bartering, buying, selling. You know what I'm saying? So numbers count in a lot of ways. So that is how I get the personal week that I thank Lewis to this very day. My Leo buddy we were partners in crime. I mean, we were serious, but I ain't going to go there because I ain't got the time. But the point is, because Lewis, when he because my brother, he wasn't a player. He just got along with women, man. That was his thing. And he wanted to know. And it was like every other day was this one, this one, this one. And he must have felt out, got tired, and he's throughout this. Well, what about the personal week? And I said, there's no such thing. And to his astuteness, he says, why? That's why I call my book Numbers in You. And I've thanked people in my book. I give dedication, of course, to my family, but also dedication to the countless people that asked me all kinds of questions that made me grow and develop to become the person I am in this field of numerology. And one last thing, which is what about the day, the universal day, then the personal day? So the universal day goes like this. It's a nice, in order to get the universal day, you must have the year first, then the month second, and then the day. So if I took June the 2nd, added to the year 2025, it adds up to an 8. So today is an 8 universal day for all of us to check our finances, to learn how to grow. It's interesting where 6 rules romance and finance, 8 rules finance, and then romance. Someone from their past, someone you haven't seen in a while, amending offenses, things of that nature. And so what happens, so for example, of our person that we give as an example, April 20th. So since they're in a 3 personal month, 3 added to the second calendar day would be a 5. So this person is in a 5. So don't forget, there's the universal factors, and then there's your personal factors. And I will say one thing before I go to the comment section, which is this. There are those people who have rarefied air. They are the ones on these particular dates. January the 8th, February the 7th, March the 6th, April the 5th, May the 4th, June the 3rd, July the 2nd, April the 1st, September the 9th, October the 8th, November, I can't leave out that, November the 8th, and then finally December the 6th. Why do I say that? Well, because all those dates I mentioned from January all the way to December, their universal, their personal year is the same as the universal year. What do I mean? So if we got a person born on January the 8th, and I do January the 8th added to this year, 2025, it will be in a 9 personal year. And it also at the same time happens to be a 9 universal year. So that puts them in a whole different category altogether. Okay. So these are the things to understand. There's that personal year cycle, then there's a universal cycle. Now, there's a blessing and a curse with this too. When that means when your month and day of birth is at making your personal year cycle be the same as the universal cycle, that means you're in lockstep with the universe, so to speak. Okay. A little bit more in harmony. But what it also means is this: when you're having good days, they're really good days. And when you're not having the best days, they're really, really not the best days because it's accented because your personal year is in lockstep with the universal year as well. Okay. So that was it. That's fun. And I thank Quintella for bringing that up and asking that also about the Q&A, which I'll answer tomorrow too. So for those of you who want to join me, I'll show it again. You click on the QR code, sign up. I'll see you all tomorrow evening, and we'll go from there. And I says I will ask any question. That's why I say ask me anything. I'll say ask me anything in my field. Okay. Don't ask me how to send a rocket to the moon because y'all gonna have to see somebody else with that one. Anyway, let me see what is going on in the comment section here. All righty. Good evening to Stephen William and his beautiful wife, Carolyn. They are out of the city of Chicago. All righty. So I'm going to go back up again. And I will say this too, for solicitations, I think it's nice. I don't kind of go after it. Not that I don't need all the blessings I can get my hands on, but that is not my purpose when I do this show. And I say that to say this: there are some, if I don't catch, they feel a little perturbed or offended. Please don't be, because it's not intentional. I don't operate like that. So I says for people who feel into their feelings in that way, if you do want to do something, greatly appreciate it, but don't do it unless I read you. Don't jump up in advance and I miss you. And then, you kind of say, well, Lloyd, you didn't get to me or whatever the case is. It was never intentional. So for those of you who feel like that, the only thing I can tell you is to please wait. And then if I do catch you and you feel you want to donate something, beautiful. If not, Don't worry. And then that way there are no misunderstandings, okay? And melanated 8, hi, and beyond 44, okay. And Vintage Page, thank you very much. Says first time catching it live. And this is my buddy from across the way. I'll be coming there over the summer to London. I'll tell you about that also soon. All right, so let me go to Hi Eartha. And these are regulars. And I mean, y'all spend all this time with me. I think it's nice. I was trying to say, well, maybe I should cut back, but I got to be honest. I enjoy doing this so much, and then I'm kind of inquisitive, like what's going on. So I do enjoy this. And let me see. Here's a person, JH. They're born March the 10th. What are my lucky beneficial numbers and how do I arrive at them? See, that's it. I hope you caught this at the beginning, JH, because I explained exactly how I get the universal year, month, and day, and week, and how I get the personal year. For example, in your case, you happen to be in a 4 personal year. How did I do that? I took March the 10th, added the 2025, it came out to a 4. Well, 4 added to the 6th calendar month we're now in, 4 plus 6 is 10. Well, you're born on the 10th. So although June is traditionally not your month, this month will be an exception to that rule because you happen to be in a 1 personal month, which means now's the time to kick it. Now's the time to step out on faith and do things in a more independent fashion, be that pioneer and whatnot, because it looks like you don't take orders well anyway, all right? And then if I says about the week, well, you're in a 1 personal month. So 1 add to the first calendar week, which is from the 1st to the 7th, means you're in a 2. So that means take it easy, be patient. Normally, number ones don't like to be patient, but the week will require that you be patient, that you be understanding, that you mend fences, you form alliances of those who are going in the same direction as you. And then when I look at your day, well, 6 plus the second calendar day is no, you're in a 1. So you're in a 3 personal day. So that means, and since 3 is one of your numbers, because your numbers are the 1, 4, and 3. So this is your day to have fun, to work on a self-improvement program, to might deal with some legal, semi-legal matters or whatever the thing is, but think creatively, think expansively and things like that. But your lucky numbers are always, your angel numbers, as I should call them, are the 1, 4, and 3. And your angelic days are always on Sunday, Thursday, and Tuesday. All righty, got that straight. Okay. Mode 369, thanks so much. Okay. Wow, I just read you too. Thank you very much for the donation. I did read him. Did I not? Hold on. Did I not? I read somebody March 10th. Anyway, yes, I just read you, JH. So thank you very much. I hope that makes sense. And notice, he's born on the 10th and he made a $10 donation. See what I'm saying? A lot of things we do subconsciously with numbers and we don't think about it. So I tell people, when you know your numbers, always try to negotiate around your numbers and you're likely to do better. But those are your lucky numbers, JH, the 1, the 4, and the 3. So if you're a gambling man, as they call it, or gambling person, as they say, if you play these, see, this 3-way number is played 6 different ways, according to the way the lottery system works. So he can play it or they can play it. But if they play it out of order, in other words, it's got to be a 1, a 4, and a 3, then they get the prize. If they play it any of the 5 other variations, they'll get a piece of money, but they won't get all the money. Okay. All right. Okay. So let me see something here. Okay. Cosmic Sunflower says, check out Numeralytics. I learned so much numerology on the live with Remy and Pop. Yeah. The one thing I've been blessed with, the people that I've had, I don't like to say I teach. I like to say I shared, because people want to call me a teacher. I understand what that means. I like sharing. I don't hold back. Simon is one of the few individuals I met, and I met a few. There are a few I know, but Simon, when it comes to when I ask him knowledge, has been absolutely selfless. I verify that from top to bottom. When I wanted to go online, he recommended this platform. The first PowerPoint I ever did, he suggested it. It was on Palmer Street too, out in Brooklyn at Nicholas. It was Nicholas, Brooklyn at that time in a different location. So this man has done so much for me. And so So I like call myself sharing, so to speak, but I understand what they're saying and teaching and all that. I do understand, but it's fun for me. It's fun for me. Okay. Um, Let me see this person here. Okay. Beyond's uh, 444. What is a good month to get fibroids removed? Okay. Now, that's a health question. I'm not a medical profession, but I will say this. The first thing I did figure out is what is your personal year cycle? And happy belated birthday last month. Believe it or not, when I took 5/15, the month and day you born, added to this year, you in either an 11 or /2. I'm doing this in my head right now. There is a particular way whether I determine whether you are in a master number 11. But the point is this, whether it's an 11 or a 2, because 1 plus 1 is 2, each number rules a part of the body. And when you write the number 2, it's shaped like the intestines of the stomach. So with women, I explained that this would be a year or a month where, and whether men too. With the men, they should have their prostate checked. With the women, their reproductive organs checked. Okay. So it just happens that this one. So what happens is, so so you asked me what will be the good month. Well, first of all, your best months are always in March, April, and May. Then October, November, December. Those are your best periods. Your best day to get it done, if anything, is on a Friday. Why do I say that? Because each number rules a day, and Friday has dominion over the number 6. Thursday has dominion over the number 3, and Tuesday has dominion over the number 9. So thus Tuesday, Thursday, Friday are your best days, except your calendar works backwards. Friday is always your first choice. Second is always your third. Friday is always your first choice. Thursday is always your second choice. Friday is always your third choice. Okay. And so what that means is when you decide to have it done, since we're out of these months, not unless it all depends on the level of emergencies with your situation. Then I wait till after the summer when you into late September into October. The primary month should have been May, your birthday month, and October. The day you should select is a Friday. That is your day, especially if it's a Friday the 6th, Friday the 15th, Friday the 24th, where the 6 is falling on its own day. Okay. You almost want to make me look at my moon calendar, but I ain't gonna do that right now. But see, this is why you'll need to see me tomorrow in the open Q&A. This is exactly why I can do all this and I can explore and help you get into this more. But because you are in a 2 personal, and by the way, I would recommend October preferably. Why? Because you'll be in a 3. And so it'll be a triple star day. If you can get it on that Friday, that it should fall on a 6. And in October, you'll be in a 3 personal month, setting up for a 3 personal year, which is one of your good numbers. And everything is likely to work out very, very well. Okay. And you should do it when the moon is in a new moon. Normally, when people have procedures. Now, these are almanac rules. These are rules from the stars. These ain't Lloyd Strayhorn's rules. So the Big Pharma and all these people, y'all got to shut all this down. And this thing has been here for tens of thousands of years. So I'd like to see how you'll pull that off. That every book, every astrology and occult related book should be yanked from the bookstores. Okay, I know that's not going to happen either. But the point is, so this is where I'm getting, this is not Lloyd saying it. I'm saying what the metaphysical laws deal with. And the metaphysical laws are definitely more powerful than the man-made laws, okay? So when God says we're going to send some tempests, some thunder and lightning down up in this piece, I don't care what your intentions are. Y'all better take cover. That's all I'm saying. So that's how I would look at it. So March, April, and May. On the other side of the summer, it's October, November, December, and especially on a Friday, if not a Thursday, if not a Tuesday, but try to go around the new moon. And if you're not sure, Google it. When is the new moon for March? When is the new moon for October? Whatever the case is, new moon is better for healing. Okay, when you want to start something initially that you want to be successful, and you'll find out your recovery will be faster. These are astrological laws. These laws are also in the almanacs too. They're in this book here. They'll tell you even the best procedures for surgery. And it's not just this moon book. Most moon books that you pick up and sun books have some things about surgical procedures and the best time to do it according to the heavens. That's the difference. And I will always place my bets with the heavens first. That's how I roll with this. Okay. So that's what I'm seeing. So I wish you all the best. Okay. Let me see. And go to, it said to the Numerologics, they're more than welcome. Good. Okay. Let's see. You're more than welcome, Jazz. You know I ain't lying. She's the best. She's the best. I'm telling you, y'all need, and I'm gonna have her on to talk about that class. It's gonna be in the summer, but it's gonna be certified. She is very, very, just very analytical of what she does. But she's a two. Twos are into the details. I mean, and I've learned a lot, and I've been teaching way before I ever thought I met Jazz. But I learned a lot from her. But if you're really good, you learn a lot from everybody you meet. But you got to be open and not say, well, I know everything, because that's when you know nothing. All right. Sister Maya, born on September 13th. How are you? Okay. Thanks for the show. Right. Okay. Let's see. Grand Eden to CC. Okay. Rhonda, Marine. Okay. Let me see something here. I have not had Oracle on my show in quite a while. She does the tarot readings, and her birthday is coming up on the 11th. Okay, that's interesting. That's her birthday, the 11th of this month. So I should be, hopefully, Oracle, you'll probably be on this month. I'm just saying, I haven't checked with you yet. I haven't even spoken to you, but since I'm just putting you on blast, as they say nowadays, okay? Anyway, a Kafunya, and I'm going to have Kafunya on too during Leo season. She's a Leo. This, I call her the crystal lady. She's awesome. That's all I can say. But then again, I've been blessed to meet just some awesome individuals, man. I'm so blessed. Okay. Let me see something. Oh, here we go. Thank you. That's exactly what I was going to ask. So to apply for Jazz Aphrodite's Mastery Numerology Institute, please go to her website. Okay, it's right there. https://jazzaphrodite.com. So please lock that in. Inquire. It starts in, I think, August the 10th or somewhere around there, and it's going to be for a couple of months. So Oracle T got me straight. Thank you, Oracle. Thank you very much. There's a difference. But please go here to do that, and make sure that we do that at the end of the show too. Okay, please get the thumbs up. It don't cost you nothing. It ain't that serious. Please get the thumbs up. All right. Okay, now this is GJ Jillian, who is July the 25th, which makes them a Leo 7 person. So this person is a fire sign with a water number. So that means the fire side of the Leo is more proactive, assertive, forceful, dynamic. And yet, when I look at the 7, it adds a little of sophistication, because 7s can be laid back. 7s can be very reserved. You can kind of go to sleep on them because they sometimes, the elders used to have this saying in the community when I was a kid, growing up, don't woke them, let them sleep. Okay, broken English, but boy, the meaning had a whole lot. Okay, and so she's the kind that's got her own mind. And notice, she's actually 7s across the board because she's born in the 7th month. She's born on the 25th, which is a 7-day. And notice the year she's born in, which is 777. She's born in 1977. Okay, and that adds up to a 6. So she's born in the year of the 6. Okay, did I do that right? I do believe I did. Yes, I did do that right. So it tells me, Jay, that one of your parents was probably either Taurus, Libra, or born on the 6th, 15th, or 21st. But if you were conceived, in fact, I can tell you when you conceived, because if you were born in July, which is none of my business, just research, okay? I'm in the research a lot. So since it's late July, that would mean August, September, October. So your mom and dad conceived you in October of 1776. No, they conceived, no, your mother and father conceived you. Okay, they must have been partying, maybe an anniversary, who knows? But somebody got somebody busy in October of 1976, And then 9 months later, here you come. So that tells me, since that was the year of the six, that more than likely, no, 1976 was the year of the five, excuse me. So that tells me when your parents could either been a Gemini or Virgo, or born on the 5th, the 14th, or the 23rd of the month. But anyway, you're one of those sophisticated Leos, very independent minded. You have the same combination of zodiac sign and number like Angela Bassett, but she's in the Leo side. She's in the August side of Leo on August the 16th, where you more in the July side. So that means more kind of laid back. So everything about you indicates you're very, very private too. And you don't like a lot of people in your business, but your key numbers are the 7, 2, 1, and 4. Okay, now this is Pamela. She's got a birthday coming up on Thursday. She's born at 5:31 a.m. in the morning, which means her sun is in the first house, the house of personalities, the house of ego, things like that. It's also the sign of Aries too. So it tells me she has a forceful personality. And so now it's interesting because each month is born, each number has a month that's naturally home to them. Well, she's born on the 5th day, and the natural home to the number 5 is always in the month of June and the month of September. So therefore, this woman is in her element. And it tells me she can be born in 1960. She's not going to look her age. She's not going to act her age. And if she ever wondered why she will attract younger relationships, and I hate to say she did, but the chances are, if she gave a younger person an opportunity, they would definitely hit on the sister or want to take her out. And then when I'm looking at her name, majority of her name falls in the youthful category. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So out of 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Out of 11 letters in your name, 5, 6, 7, 8. Really? 5, 6, 7, 8. Out of 11 letters in your name, Pamela Allen, which is none of my business, 9 of these numbers in your name are youthful numbers. So it tells me either don't look your age, act your age, feel your age. If you've ever had an affair with a younger person, because 5 rules multiple relationships, not that you have to, but even if you was married, they're going to be some men like, Pamela, I know you're married, girl, but can I take you out anyway? Knowing they shouldn't be answering those questions. But that's how that is. But your lucky numbers, by the way, are the 5, the 6, and the 9. And it tells me very clever, ain't got much patience, and you can curse somebody out too if they work your nerves. Okay. Now, this is Celeste moon rising. So they are born on July the 10th. Now, where the other person was a fire sign, GJ, when she was a fire sign with a water number, Celeste is a water sign with a fire number, just the reverse. The month represents the physical components that you bring to the table in the relationship. The date of birth represents the mental combination that you bring into the relationship. Okay. So this can explain why people can be born under fire signs, but mentally they're just not on the same page. So in this case, this person here is Bo Daring. In fact, this is the same birthday as the first African mayor of New York City, the Honorable David Dinkins, was born on this day of July 10th. And look at the numbers. I'm looking at 1s and 9s, which tells me leadership numbers. Okay. I'm looking at the fact that you're born at 10:33 p.m., which means your sun is probably sitting in the 4th house. Okay. I'm looking at that, the house of Cancer. It also indicates that this is a good year for you to break new ground, because you're in an 8 cycle year. What I did was I put July the 10th to 1990, 2025. You're in an 8. And so if I do 8 added to the 6 calendar month, it's a 5. So this month is a turning point for you. Your birthday month will be a love cycle for you, all depending on how you do things. But I know you're headstrong. I see all those 1s and 9s. So, and zeros, by the way, I represent Saturn, or the number 8. It's like if you put a 0 on top of another 0, you got an 8. And if you turn it sideways, you got infinity. So that's how I look at it. That may not be logical, but sometimes things speak to me in ways that don't appear to come that way. But I'll stand by that until proven otherwise. And I'm open because I don't know everything. And it also tells me why I have sensitive eyes to sunlight, which means you may wear glasses or whatever the case is, and you don't look your age, but you're born to lead. So yes, you may be a sensitive Cancer, but looking at these numbers, I wouldn't fall for it. I wouldn't. That's you. Your numbers, by the way, are the 1, 4, 2, and 7. You're the second person I've read this evening that has 4 numbers rather than 3 numbers. Okay. So yes, so get it. So for full reading, you go to LLoyd-Strayhorn.com. Also, you can sign up for the free newsletter right there. You can shop for books, you can shop for charts, whatever the case is. My free newsletters, my Udemy courses, everything is right there. Thanks very much for that, Jazz. Because you know, I got my own little like a banner. I forget to use that thing. I'm so busy trying to get in people's business, you know. But hey, so anyway, please get the thumbs up. I mean, I gotta find out what's with all these thumbs and whatnot. Get them up, please. It don't cost nothing. All right. Okay. Uh, and this is my buddy Steven from Chicago. Man, if I ever get to Chicago, I'm looking you and Carolyn up. Okay. They have been with me some Jump Street. Okay. They just celebrated 13 years of putting up with, with my stuff. Well, I'm gonna let you and Carol work that out, buddy. Okay. And that's what he says right there. Thank you. And Carol and I just celebrated 13 years of her putting up with my stuff. I know, Steve. Steve, it ain't easy. It ain't easy, brother. From what women tell us, it's not easy. But we do the best we can, though. We got to admit. We do the best we can. But congratulations in order. Listen, people don't even want to be together 36 days, much less 36 weeks, 36 months, and let us not even think about 36 years, okay? Okay. Okay, now here, Marla says, I paid for some group readings, never got an email. When is it? Okay, now let me say this to you. I need to go back to this a second. And I always forget to say this at the top too. See what it says here? See, when you said the group reading, because this leads me to suspect. At the very bottom, okay, I always say like, share, and subscribe. I forget that. But LWL, which is Live with Lloyd, or me, Lloyd Strayhorn, will never DM you for money. And I suspect, Marla, unfortunately, that somebody was pretending to be me, sent you an email, and especially if when they use the word, well, yes, love, if they throw love around there, and I don't talk to people like that, that's your tip off. You should go to the nearest exit. And you know, and unfortunately, they got scammers. And it's not to say you a scam, but that's not my approach. I would never do that to you. Never, never. If you sent me something, now, yes, I might be late. I ain't gonna front with that because I mean, I have some things kind of going at me. Hold on one second. Okay, where are we? Media. Okay, let me just get this out of the way. Yes, I may be late, but I will never, ever, ever in delivering or something, but never ever take somebody's resources because I know if I pay for something, I expect to get it. So why not you? So it sounds like, Marla, through no fault of your own, that, and please, okay. It says, when is the group reading for the, oh, that one, that's tomorrow. Or if you're talking about tomorrow, that's tomorrow at, okay, hold on. Now I understand. I'm glad. You'll probably get a confirmation. I'll check on that. So if you pay for it, I will see it, Marla. Now I understand. Okay, this is what Marla is referring to. Thank you so much. I'm glad you followed that up. Tomorrow is an open session, and the open session allows you to come into the room and to really, I can answer all your questions with a lot of details and things of that nature. And you just click on the QR code at the top right. It'll drop you into a calendar. The calendar will then tell you to pick the date, which is June the 3rd, tomorrow. And then you just log in and sign up. And then I will meet you there while I answer all your questions. Now I see what you're saying. So no, you were not ripped off at all. There was just miscommunications on my part. So Marla, thank you so much. Yes. So if you pay for that, you will get it. And you should be getting, and I'll double check that. I'll double check that to make sure. Let me see. Yes, I paid for that, but did not submit the birthday. Well, you don't have to. How do we come into the room? You will be getting a link. You'll be getting a link, Marla. Thank you very much for that. Okay, boy, I'm saying, wow, I don't want nobody to rip people off. But this is not a rip off. If you paid to join. And this allows me to answer all your questions in great details. I'll read you, your mate, your kids, whoever you want. That's only allowing X number of people into the room, not a whole bunch. It'd be nice to have a whole bunch, but I would never get anywhere. So it's just a limited amount. I think there must be just a couple more space left, but just click on the QR code at the top right of the screen and just put in your name. Yes, there is a fee. Really, because I'm going to go into a lot of details. Will it be worth it? Oh yeah, definitely. So, and Marla, I'll make sure that you get it. Okay. Thank you very much for that. Because I said, wow, somebody take advantage of some of my people, man. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna see to make sure I don't have any more people who donated. And okay, I do see one more, which I'm gonna do. And if I should miss you, always check on Wednesday. And if I should miss you Wednesday, always check on Monday. So that is what my thing is now, to kind of like go and answer the questions. Oh, let me get this off. Okay, that's tomorrow. Okay, let me see something here. Strayhorn. Okay, yeah. So that's tomorrow. But I saw that somebody had made a donation, so I want to respond to that out of all fairness to them, so they don't felt overlooked at any chance. And I'll work my way backwards. Yes. So you're saying, okay, thank you. So will you get an email? Yes, you'll get an email or confirmation. You definitely will. That's for sure. Okay. And you'll be invited into the room because you will be sent. She says, how will you come into the room? You will be sent a link. It's going to be a Zoom link that invites you into the room. So we're all there. We're all looking at each other. You know what I'm saying? Here's what you need to do. Have a pen and paper to take some notes for yourself and other people you want to know about. Okay, Marla? All right. Okay. It says, yes, I paid for that, but you didn't have to, because that when you see, the less I know about you when you're in the room, the better for me. But if so, I'm trying to figure everything out. Okay. All right. Thank you, Marla, for getting that straight. Because I'm saying, gee, somebody took advantage of you. I didn't like that. All right. Okay. Okay, now she says she has young guys that try to hit on her. So that tells me, first of all, if you look at the 5 letters in her name, 3 of them falls in the youthful category. She's in the youthful sign of Gemini. She's a number 5. Yeah. So yes, she may be born in 62, but she may not look it. She could look like she's born in 1975, close to 1980, and nobody would give the sister any problems. And it also tells me too, Marla, that if since your birthday is the 5th, that less 5 rules multiple relationships. This is not every single 5 on the planet, but more than enough 5s normally have multiple relationships. I don't think they mean to, but 5 is the number of sex attraction. So yes, that would be. And you didn't even give your last name, but just in your first name alone, Marla, I see out of the 5 letters in your first name, 3 of them fall in the youthful category. And so I have young guys try and hit on me all the time. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised, Marla. And so let me see. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 3. So your name adds up to a 3, which is you'll attract Sagittarius and Pisces with this one. But anyway, let me see something here. And this is so much fun. Y'all got to come to the class, those of you who can, if there's any space. And if not, I'll try one more for next month. And if so, I'll do it on a regular or semi-regular basis, okay? So you can get in and ask the questions that I'm not able to answer to. I'll spill a little over my time, but I did see somebody made a donation. I want to address that. Oh, thanks. I read you. I read you. I read you about the fibroids. I read you. Thanks so much for the donation. See, this is what I'm saying. So then if you want to make a donation after I read you, fine. Other than that, we good. Okay, everybody, let me wrap this up, please. And what I do want is I want Jazz Aphrodite one more time to get how y'all can begin to sign up for a certification course this coming Sunday, summer. I think it's on the 10th of August, and beginning for a little while. Okay, she is very, very good at what she does. She's very dedicated, and but then again, she's a Taurus, so I don't know what y'all want from her. So anyway, so let me tell you about my sponsors again. Okay, I'm going to start from the top. Okay, I want to thank. Well, let me get this comment off. Okay, I want to thank from the bottom of my heart, Monique of Nicholas, Brooklyn. She is really an exceptional human being. And I mean, but don't take my word for it. Go see for yourself. Go to her store. Over 50 years of being in business, she's got the most wonderful store with everything and presentations and lectures and music, entertainment. She did a ice bath thing just last 2 Sundays ago. I ain't getting there because I don't do cold water, but hey, somebody got to do it, and somebody did too. Anyway, but it's at 1396 Fulton Street. That is the place to go, and tell them I sent you, and talk to Kafunya too. And also, Uchenna, the creator of U Juice, actually it was his wife Jan that got him started with U Juice. And I happened to have been there in that year when the testing, and I still have the original bottles now. The juice is probably still good because everything was all organic. But so just go to Levitt Store to order your juices. It's Levitt, LIVETSTORE.com. That's Levitt Store. And by the way, he's just finishing up the publishing of a book that I'll share with you later on that you can purchase. Also, I do want to thank Numerologics, Queen Bee with Numbers Matter. And tomorrow and Wednesday at 4 p.m., she's having featured as her guest Miss Kimberly, business astronumerologist, and they'll be talking about the podcast is on Wednesday. You see at 4 p.m. Okay, so check on the channel and find out what that's about. Also, my good buddy and brother King Simon, who has helped me in so many ways, and I'll always thank him for that too. So he's having a 3-part marathon for June, July, and August. And he now dissect words. The brother's just at a whole nother level of exclusivity of what he does. I mean, it's just very nice to know these people, man. I'm just honored. Okay. And so do that. Also, this is sponsored by Manifest on Purpose with Miss Kimberly for Astronumerology Reveals and other podcasts that she does. And also, she is also for all business persons interested in trying to get a sense of their business, metaphysically speaking. She has a complimentary consultation. She doesn't rush you. It's a complimentary consultation to find out where you stand about the business from an astrological thing. And as J.P. Morgan once says, when asked, does astrology make millionaires? He says it makes billionaires. And Evangeline Adams, the astrologer of her day, said in her book, The Bowl of Heaven, that I taught the man. Okay, that's what she says. I got the book. I read it from the pages, her own autobiography. All righty. So she taught J.P. Morgan, and he died on March the 31st of 1913. You know how long ago that was? But everybody still knows about J.P. Morgan. I wonder why. In fact, he employed astrologers on his staff too. So maybe there is something to that. That's all I'm saying. All righty. So everybody too, I want you to also, I don't know how many books that Jazz Aphrodite has left, but you should either subscribe with the audio version or pick up what few copies remain. I am blessed. I bought the hardcover and the softcover edition, just the feel of the cover of the book. And when you get inside, it reads like it should really be made into a movie because she uses numerology to go through that 9-year cycle of relationships and things like that. Really awesome. It should be made into a book or a movie. I mean, into a movie or something. And so, by the way, my June newsletter is out. It came out yesterday. And so I encourage you all to, if you want to subscribe, it is absolutely free. Just go to either LLoyd-Strayhorn or Linktree/numbers in you and sign up for free. No, we do not sell the mailing list. Now, I will promote what I've got going on. Yes, like my open session. Like this is on your newsletter, okay? But it's my newsletter, okay? So other than that, I don't advertise anybody else other than the person that we do this together in the joint one. So if you want to hear the link, hear the audio version of the forecast, do that. And for those of you who may have missed this part of it, when you go to the top, because normally you'll get it, it looks like this when it comes into your email, because normally it comes over the phone. But you'll see at the top right, it'll say to view this, to view in browser. So if you click on the browser, the whole thing opens up, because if you read it like the way it's designed for a phone, it'll just go to Leo and stop. And then it'll seem like it's cut off, but it's not cut off. It's just that you got to click on it to go to it. So let's say you get to the bottom and don't see that. Well, at the bottom right, okay, you'll see where it will tell you to view the entire message. And so you can see it that way. So either way, whether at the top or the bottom, and as you see at the bottom, there's a link where you can click onto the link to actually hear the audio version of our recording, and also the timestamp if you just want to get right to your sign and later for everybody else, okay? Every now and then we got to be a little selfish, okay? So that's how that goes. So everybody, let me get this off here. Where is this? Okay. So everybody, I want to thank you very, very much. Thank you for waiting and all your comments. So all comments you got, just let me know. Let me know. And it'll be a pleasure to answer your questions. But for those of you tomorrow, click on the upper right QR code, sign up, Marla, and there's one or two others. I think there's 2 or 3 or 4 others I've seen that I look forward to answering all your questions to your satisfaction. That is my best. And you can ask me anything that I can intelligently answer. I will tell you that anything I think I can intelligently answer, you got it. Other than that, I like sleeping good at night. You know what I'm saying? I really do. Y'all have a nice day. I'll see you in 2 days. Bye.